All right, welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving straight into a totally wild, highly esoteric text that details the hidden alien lifestyles and extraterrestrial geopolitics that are purportedly shaping our world. I'm so excited to guide you through this material today because whether you're a skeptic or a total believer, the sheer scale of the world building in these sources is absolutely captivating.
So get this, what if the Cold War wasn't actually a human conflict at all? We're going to kick things off with one of the most bizarre and striking claims we'll cover today. The idea that the mid-century standoff between the United States and the Soviet Union was actually managed by competing alien races working behind the scenes. It's a pretty wild premise, right?
To figure out where this whole idea comes from, we're looking impartially at a specific book, Introduction to the Laws of the Universe by Ryuho Okawa. Specifically, we're unpacking Chapter 2, which relays the purported spiritual messages of Zecharia Sitchin's guardian spirit and the famous UFO contactee George Adamski. Now, our goal today isn't to endorse these viewpoints, but just to clearly and neutrally explain the source material so you can grasp the fascinating narrative being presented.
Okay, here's our roadmap for today. We're covering the secrets of planet Nibiru, the Nibirian lifestyle, and how they incarnate on Earth. Then we'll pivot over to Adamski and the Cold War, the alien roots of empires, and finally, Earth's upcoming proxy wars.
Section 1. Secrets of Planet Nibiru. Let's dive into Zecharia Sitchin's guardian spirit and the revelation of this mysterious 10th planet. According to the text, Nibiru orbits our sun on this massive 3,600-year cycle. But what's really intriguing is who actually lives there. The book claims the planet is populated primarily by ancient refugees who fled Venus after some massive cosmic catastrophe, so it's functioning less like a native homeworld and more like a giant interstellar life raft. Section 2. The Nibiruan lifestyle. So how exactly do you survive on a planet like that?
Well, it isn't easy. The text describes absolutely brutal, extreme temperature swings on Nibiru. We're talking scorching highs of 400 degrees Celsius and freezing lows of minus 50 degrees. Because the surface is basically unlivable, the vast majority of the population is supposedly forced to live in highly advanced, artificial underground empires.
And to protect those underground cities from severe space hazards, the Nibiruans allegedly construct gigantic, pyramid-shaped structures up on the surface. Think of the pyramids of Giza, but hyperfunctional. The book says these structures mitigate those crazy temperature extremes, shield the inhabitants from harmful cosmic rays, and literally act as physical blocks against meteorite strikes.
But you know, even ancient alien refugees gotta eat, right? The book grounds this incredible sci-fi setup with some surprisingly relatable details. Down in those underground cities, they apparently rely on geothermal heat and artificial light factories for farming. They pull water from volcanic zones. And get this, they cultivate crops that are remarkably similar to our own eggplants and potatoes. It's kind of funny to think about cosmic beings sharing our love for a good potato. But there you have it.
Moving on to Section 3, Incarnating on Earth, which naturally leads us to ask, how do these beings interact with us today?
Well, the reading asserts they're keeping a very close eye on us. It claims they monitor Earth through TV-like broadcasts from afar, and when they do physically visit, it's in those classic, stealthy, cigar-shaped UFOs. But here's a wild detail. Earth's oxygen levels are actually way too toxic for their biology, so when they arrive, they literally have to wear specialized high-oxygen spacesuits just to walk around our planet until they physically acclimate.
But the crucial point here is that their interaction goes way beyond just observing us. The text states that some Nibiruans actively mutate or incarnate directly into human bodies. They're supposedly born as geniuses to intentionally accelerate human evolution. Furthermore, the book talks about a massive influx of what it calls first-time Earthlings. These are alien souls being born right now into nations like China, India, and across Africa and South America specifically to take advantage of their rapidly growing populations.
So that's the biological side of things. But how have these extraterrestrials influenced our geopolitical history behind the scenes? This brings us to a major pivot in the text, shifting right into the intense political intrigue of George Adamski's spiritual reading.
Section 4. Adamski and the Cold War. Let's look at these supposed alien treaties. All right, Adamski's section drops a massive bombshell about the Cold War. The book makes the striking claim that both the United States and the Soviet Union secretly received advanced technology from different, competing alien races. And in exchange,
The superpowers essentially gave these alien groups a free pass to research Earth and its people. According to this text, it recast the entire space race as a shadow competition between rival extraterrestrial benefactors.
Section 5. Alien Roots of Empires. Taking that Cold War idea even further back in time.
The source maps out this whole hidden timeline of cosmic influence over human history. It explicitly connects the expansion of Napoleon's French Empire to highly aggressive Martian aliens. Then it suggests the British Empire had its own cosmic guidance, and that leads us straight into modern America, which the book frames as a literal battleground between aggressive reptilian factions and forces tied to something called the Dogon. Now, to really understand the text's view of modern American politics, we first need to define the Dogon tribe. According to the source, the Dogon are an African civilization that received profound ancient alien enlightenment. They supposedly interacted with a cosmic entity described as a pale fox.
And here's where the geopolitics gets super esoteric. The reading actually attributes former President Obama's spiritual roots to this Dogon tribe and that pale fox entity. The book positions this specific spiritual lineage as a direct counterforce against highly aggressive reptilian influences operating inside U.S. politics. Just to be clear, we are simply and impartially reporting what the text says here, but it perfectly highlights how this source seamlessly weaves ancient tribal lore, UFO mythology, and modern politics all into one overarching narrative.
Section 6. Earth's upcoming proxy wars. So what does this text say this all means for our future geopolitical landscape?
The text lays out a pretty intense warning. It claims that major world powers with booming populations, specifically pointing to China and India, are becoming the new global stages for these cosmic conflicts. Earth is increasingly being treated as a giant alien testing ground. According to the book, we're on the brink of intense, proxy war-like competitions as these rival alien factions align themselves with different human groups.
So, the core thesis of the chapter, the big takeaway the author is driving at, is that humanity is currently woefully uninformed. The text argues that if we want to survive and successfully navigate these incoming spiritual and political challenges, we absolutely have to wake up and learn these hidden cosmic rules. We have to learn the laws of the universe.
Which leads us with a pretty massive question. Are we the masters of our own history, or are we literally just players in a cosmic proxy war? As we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to ponder that based on these extraordinary claims. If the sources are right, the history in our textbooks is, well, it's only half the story. I hope unpacking this material gave you some fascinating things to think about today. Keep questioning, keep learning, and thanks for joining me for this explainer.